Leaders don't avoid being challenged. Let's rap about it.
This is Bars at Work, where leadership and personal development meets hip hop.
This could be a 3-hour episode.
I know, we may have to chop this one up, man.
Nah, come on, man. Like every single word on here, you could do an episode on. Yeah, so let's keep running it.
All right, run it.
You want yes men, what this approach really causes stress men who don't attract noteworthy bosses.
You want yes men. That's a powerful one, because I think that red line theme, you started with a little bit of that earlier, of just getting people to, follow the self-centered leader.
Yeah.
Yes men, like what's a yes man?
Yes man.
What are the yes men or women, on a team?
Yeah. Yes men, gender neutral, right?
Yeah.
It's a person who just basically takes orders with no questions asked, or they just do what they think is in the leader's best interest, or in the leader's, desired interest. Mm-hmm. You see that in various cultures and various industries, right? That's really a more of a military, style of leadership. Taking orders, following orders, right? You can get in serious trouble if you're not taking orders from a superior and carrying that out. Mm-hmm. I think when you transition from that environment, and a lot of people have challenges, that former military servicemen have challenges assimilating into the private sector, and they bring that style of leadership where it's like you're no longer in a culture that understands, hey, we're just taking orders, and the significance of that and why the culture is different, the context is different. So you have people that try to lead in that way because of their experience, but then you have other people that they have no military experience, but they're just task driven. They want people to just do what I say. They don't understand the essence of collaboration, right? They don't understand the fact of, like I say, continuing this verse, if you continue to have just yes men around you, it's going to create more problems, really, for everybody.
And it's like a tension between leaders shifting to like a coach facilitator versus I'm directing all the plays.
Yeah.
And that's a shift that's hard for leaders to make, because you really do start to lose a sense of, well, what's my role if I'm not calling the shots, if I'm not making all the plays, if I'm not directing. But now the value in leadership in organizations is to coach, empower, build the skills of your team. You are still directing. You're still guiding towards certain outcomes, but you're not dictating the plays all the time.
Yeah.
And you're giving some latitude and freedom and autonomy for the team to show up and to do what they do best. And I think that's a tension that we see with this whole yes men methodology versus, hey, we as a group are going to do this. But it requires like a complete mindset shift in leaders.
It does. And so, the ironic part about it is, you think if you have people that are just carrying out your orders and doing what you want them to do and what you need them to do and moving forward, and you're driving it that way, you think that you'll get your way and everything will be great, but it actually creates more stress. So as I said, you want yes men. This approach really costs you your peace of mind, right? Stress men, like you as the leader, will create more stress for you. Why? Because if you have a good team of people, and depending on the size of what you're overseeing, those people have specialties. Those people have their eyes on certain parts of the mission or the initiative. If you don't allow them and empower them to do what they need to do, to speak up when they see some gaps, it's going to end up biting you in the end. It's going to come back and it's going to create more stress for you, and you're going to be wondering. And then the blame starts to come in, because people are taking your orders, but then when they do it and stuff goes off the rails, now you're blaming them. And it's like, well, you don't realize that you're the one that caused this. Like, you want a culture of don't question me, just do what I say. And then when it goes off the rails, now I'm held accountable. Right. Backwards.
And this might be heresy to say this, but many leaders think that they're in the leadership position because they are the smartest in the room. They have all the experience, and they must be the one that has the right answers.
Man, talk about that, man.
But the reality is, I think in today's world of work, is that there's a lot of people on your teams that actually might have better experience, different experience, more expertise, more knowledgeable, go down that list. And leadership in organizations becomes a game of chance almost.
Yeah.
There's only certain numbers of leadership positions, and there's so many ways people get into leadership positions. And a lot of time you got the position because of some history in the past and a certain series of events. But over time, you're going to have teams that there's someone on your team that could easily play your spot.
Right. Right.
And
Should be.
they're looking at you for not your answers, but they're looking to you to see and recognize in them the leadership that's in them.
So what you just did is you, without knowing it, you basically broke down the next piece of this bar,
Yeah.
right? So you want yes men. This really causes you stress and creates stress men. But at the end of the day, it doesn't attract noteworthy bosses. Like you, and that's the misconception. As a leader, you think you're the boss. I'm the boss. Do what I say. And it's like, well, depending on what you're overseeing, you are a leader of leaders. If you get to be a leader of leaders, I want to attract noteworthy bosses underneath my leadership. So a noteworthy boss, someone that is a great leader, is not going to be attracted to being under somebody who is a poor leader, who's self-centered, and who just wants yes men. I've gotten to this point in my leadership by empowering other people and being a great leader. So I know what great leadership looks like. I'm not going to go and submit myself willingly to somebody who doesn't share the same values. Right. So at the end of the day, the only people that's going to be attracted to you is people that are like-minded like you. People who think, hey, you know what? I can leverage this situation to get what I want.
Right.
And so now you as a stressed yes man type leader is going to attract more of the same. And those people are not going to be good for your organization.
Yeah, it's like leading through formal authority versus informal authority. I'd rather take the leadership that comes with informal authority versus using my position or title to now garner respect from people.
Right.
And
that's influence.
That's influence. It really
Right.
comes down to influence. And a lot of people use their title or their authority to say, well, that must validate that I'm a great leader. It's not
Right.
the case.
It's the opposite. I don't even need
Yeah.
a title for that, right? So many times you have people that don't have the level or the title or whatever it is, but they are the influential leader in
Right.
the room.
Right.
Because they've taken time to establish relationships, trusted
Mm-hmm.
relationships, their reputation's intact, and a lot of times they have more influence than the person that is in the leadership seat.